Here's a fact that's going to bug you for the rest of this video. There is no such thing as a panther. Not as a species, anyway. You will never find an animal in a textbook whose name is just panther. The word doesn't point to one creature. It points to a whole club of the biggest and most dangerous cats on the planet, plus a few imposters who snuck in wearing the name. So let's sort it out properly. The real panthers belong to a scientific group called Panther, and what makes a cat a member comes down to one strange little bone in the throat. In most cats, it's fully hardened. In these 5, it stays flexible, wrapped in a special stretchy voice box, and that one difference gives them a power no other cat on earth has. They can roar. There are 5 of them. Let's meet every single one, and then track down the fakes. We'll start with the roar itself, because it belongs to this cat. A lion's roar can carry 5 miles across open savanna. It's the loudest call any cat can make, and it's basically a message board, announcing who owns the land and warning everyone else to stay off it. But the lion's real oddity isn't the sound, it's the lifestyle. Nearly every cat on earth is a loner that hunts alone and lives alone. The lion said no. Lions live in prides, family groups that hunt together, raise cubs together, and defend territory as a team. It's the only truly social big cat, and that teamwork is exactly why a pride can take down prey many times the size of a single lion. Most people picture lions covering all of Africa. These days they cling to a fraction of it, plus one last tiny population hanging on in a single forest in India, the very last wild lions outside the continent of Africa. Next up, the biggest cat that has ever purred on this planet. A large male tiger can weigh more than 3 grown men combined. It's the heavyweight champion of the entire cat family, bigger than any lion, and unlike the lion, it does all its hunting completely alone, ambushing prey with a single explosive rush from cover. And here's the detail that never stops being unsettling. A tiger's stripes aren't just in its fur. Shave a tiger down to the skin, and the stripes are still there, printed into the skin underneath, like a tattoo the cat was born with. Every tiger's pattern is completely unique. No 2 are ever the same, which means you could technically identify an individual tiger by its stripes the way you'd identify a person by a fingerprint. Those stripes look bold and obvious in a zoo. In tall dry grass at dawn, they make an animal the size of a sofa functionally invisible until it's far, far too late. Now we cross the ocean to the Americas, to the panther that does something no other big cat dares to. The jaguar is the 3rd largest cat in the world, and pound for pound, it has the strongest bite of any of them. But it's not how hard it bites that's terrifying, it's where. A lion or a tiger kills by clamping the throat and suffocating its prey. The jaguar skips all of that. It bites straight through the skull, driving its canine teeth directly into the brain. It's the only big cat that routinely kills this way. That monster bite also lets it crack open things nothing else will touch. Turtle shells, armored caiman, the tough hide of prey most predators leave alone. And if you're ever trying to tell a jaguar from a leopard, look at the spots. Both cats are covered in rosettes, those little rose-shaped rings. But the jaguar's rosettes have tiny dots inside them. The leopards don't. One glance at the coat, and you know which continent you're standing on. Speaking of which, meet the most successful big cat in the entire world. The leopard doesn't hold any single record. It's not the biggest or the strongest. What it is everywhere. From African deserts to Indian cities to the snowy forests of Far Eastern Russia, the leopard survives in more places and more conditions than any other big cat alive. It'll eat almost anything, from a beetle to an antelope, and it's happy living right on the edge of human cities, slipping through the dark completely unseen. That invisibility is its real weapon. You can spend your whole life in leopard country and never lay eyes on one, even while they're watching you, and it's freakishly strong for its size. A leopard will drag a kill heavier than itself straight up a tree to eat in peace, hoisting an entire antelope into the branches like it weighs nothing. Hold on to the leopard, by the way. We're going to come back to it in a minute, because this cat has a famous secret identity. And now the 5th panther, the one that breaks the entire rule we started with. The snow leopard lives in the genus Panther. It's a true great cat, ghosting through the highest mountains in Asia, 3 miles up where the air is thin and freezing. By every family rule, it should be able to roar. It can't. Its vocal folds are too short, so the one thing that's supposed to define a panther is the one thing this panther cannot do. For years, scientists argued it didn't even belong in the group. Everything about it is built for the cold. It has a tail nearly as long as its entire body, packed thick with stored fat, that it wraps around itself like a scarf when it sleeps in the snow. Its paws are wide and furry, built-in snowshoes, and it's so shy and so well camouflaged against grey rock that it's earned the nickname the Ghost of the Mountains, a panther most people who study it will never once see in the wild. That's all 5. 5 real panthers, and if the word were used honestly, we could stop right here. But it isn't. So let's talk about the fakes. Let's move on to the most famous panther of all, the black one, the one on the movie posters, the sleek shadow with glowing eyes. That is not a species. It never has been. A black panther is just a big cat that came out the wrong colour. Specifically, it's a leopard, or a jaguar, carrying a gene that floods its coat with dark pigment, a condition called melanism, which is basically the opposite of being albino. Instead of washing the colour out, it cranks it all the way up to black. And here's the part that breaks people. The spots are still there. Shine a light on a black panther at the right angle and you'll see them. Faint rosettes shimmering under the black like a pattern printed on dark silk. They're called ghost rosettes. The cat is completely covered in spots. You just usually can't see them. So a black panther in Asia is a black leopard. A black panther in the Amazon is a black jaguar. Two different animals, two different continents, sharing one nickname for the exact same wardrobe malfunction. Around 1 in 10 leopards and jaguars are born this way, which means the most iconic panther on Earth is really just a color option on two cats that already have their own names. Now for the biggest imposter of all. Drive through Florida and you'll see the road signs. Panther Crossing. There's a hockey team, a state animal, license plates, a whole identity built around the Florida panther. It is not a panther. Not scientifically, not even close. It's a cougar. The exact same animal that people out west call a mountain lion. And it is not in the genus Panthera at all. It sits on the branch of the cat family tree with the small cats. Which means, strange as it sounds, a Florida panther is more closely related to your house cat than it is to an actual lion. It can't roar. Instead, it makes a blood-curdling scream that sounds almost exactly like a woman shrieking in the dark. A sound that terrified frontier settlers for centuries. This one cat has more names than any mammal on Earth. Over 40 in English alone. Cougar, puma, mountain lion, catamount, painter, ghost cat, mountain screamer. Why so many? Because as settlers spread across the Americas, every region ran into the same cat, had no clue what it was, and just made up a new name. In the South, the name that stuck was Panther. And the Florida version is a genuinely tragic story. It's the last breeding population of these cats east of the Mississippi. By the 1990s, only a few dozen were left. So inbred, they were being born with kinked tails and holes in their hearts. Wildlife managers had to truck in wild females from Texas just to refresh the gene pool. It barely worked. A couple hundred survived today, and the single biggest thing killing them now isn't disease or hunting. It's cars. One last myth while we're here. There has never been a confirmed black cougar. Ever. So every black panther sighting in the United States is a shadow, a house cat, or a story. Because the one place the Black Panther legend runs wildest is the one place it literally cannot exist. Before we wrap up, 2 bonus rounds. Because the panther story gets weirder the deeper you dig. First, the cousins. Right next door to the true panthers sits a pair of cats called the clouded leopards, one on the Asian mainland, one stranded on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Everyone thought they were a single animal until 2006, when DNA revealed the island cats had been evolving apart for over 1 million years. And they're bizarre. For their body size, they have the longest canine teeth of any cat alive, proportionally more like an extinct saber-tooth than a lion, and they can open their jaws almost 90 degrees. They climb so well, they can hang upside down from branches and walk straight down a tree trunk headfirst. Not quite a panther, not quite anything else. Second, the ghosts. The genus Panthera used to be much bigger. During the last ice age, the cave lion stalked Europe, a predator our Stone Age ancestors feared enough to paint on cave walls, leaving us portraits of a panther drawn by people who actually watched it hunt. Over in North America, its cousin the American lion grew into one of the biggest cats that has ever existed, dwarfing anything alive today. And believe it or not, there was once a jaguar in Europe, prowling ancient Britain and France more than 1 million years ago, before the whole lineage left for the Americas, where jaguars still live as the only wild panther in the New World. A whole dynasty of panthers, gone. So, how many panthers are there really? 5 true ones: the lion, the tiger, the jaguar, the leopard, and the rawless snow leopard. One nickname shared by 2 black-coated imposters, one small cat relative screaming in the Florida dark under 40 different names, 2 strange cousins up in the trees, and a graveyard of vanished giants stretching back 1 million years. Because panther was never actually the name of an animal. It's the name we invented for the shape of a big cat moving through the shadows, a word we reach for when something huge and quiet is out there, and we're not entirely sure what it is. The panther isn't a species. It's the story we keep telling about the cats we're still just a little bit afraid of. That was every panther, roughly explained.